WFM 91.7.
Good afternoon and welcome to The Big Question on your Women Radio, WFM 91.7. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajamma, and thank you very much again for joining us today on The Big Question. The Big Question is the program where we discuss and prefer solutions to issues affecting us as a nation and as citizens. You can do well to join the conversation by contributing or reacting to the big question. Call us on 07000 917 917, 07000 917 917. You can also send your text or WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537, 0703 175 6537. Today on The Big Question, we're discussing surviving widowhood. Surviving widowhood. Available statistics shows that Nigeria has over 8 million disadvantaged widows, with over 21 million children. This statistics actually happens to be on the rise due to the prevalence of crisis, terminal ailments, crimes and insecurity that is popular in our country, Nigeria. Widows are not only marginalized across Nigeria, but also subjected to harmful practices and psychological trauma from their families and communities. Widowed women often experience ostracization and oppression that pushes them into poverty. The United Nations observes 23rd of June as the International Widows' Day, to draw attention to the voices and experiences of widows and also to galvanize the unique support that they need. This is why we're discussing today surviving widowhood. My guest today is Stella Anyegbuna, the CEO of Sue Sims Global Ventures. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us today, Stella.
Good afternoon. I'm honored.
It's good to have you here. I'm here with my co-host, Adenike Quadri. Hello, Adenike.
Hello, Somto. Good afternoon, Stella.
Okay, so the subject, surviving widowhood, is what we're talking about today. And you can call to contribute and ask questions or just react to surviving widowhood. If you're a widow out there, how have you been surviving? How has the situation been since your husband passed and just since this became your reality? How has surviving widowhood been for you? So call in to 07000 917 917 and share your experience as well. All right, Stella.
I'm with you.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's just get to the meat of it. And widows, as I said in the initial introduction, are often just ostracized and set aside as soon as their husbands pass. How would you describe widowhood? Would you say that this is a common happening when it comes to widows, particularly in the Nigerian setting? How would you describe widowhood itself in the typical Nigerian setting?
As a matter of fact, widows are not even considered as being in existence. They don't even see them as humans. They don't see them that like people that can be hate, people that, these people have a special need that the country or the government can really attend to. They don't see them as anything at all.
That is very, very sad to hear. And because of what you just said, I really just have to ask, how has it been for you? How have you been holding up since this became your reality, since you became a widow? How have you been surviving? Because we're talking about surviving widowhood, and I would love to hear your experience so far.
Okay. October 21st, 2008 was when I lost my husband to the cold hands of death. And, it was a great shock because he was never sick. He was shot by robbers on his way back from office, and that was when I really realized that there's a group of people called widows. You see, I think it's not intentional for us. Then, I never knew. I do see people, but I never knew this set of people need special attention. I never knew that there's like a young person can be widowed and they need special care and special love and special attention. When I started that year, it was not easy for me, but thank God I have few friends. When I mean few, I mean about 2 or 3 that were like, they are married. They are still married to the glory of God, but they were like there for me because after some years they were like, Stella, we never knew you will survive it, because they were waiting for me to die because of the closeness I had with my husband then. We were so close. But when he passed, I was not myself. As a matter of fact, you might tell me something today, I will forget it the next minute. That's widow's fault, because I'm still yet to like come to terms with what has happened to me, start reasoning normally again, because it was a good shock to me. I was devastated. My life came crumbling down. I didn't know where to start. I was a teacher earning just 25,000 or so when he died, and I had 3 kids. Where do I start from? How can I survive in Lagos with 3 kids and 25,000 as salary? Where do I start from? And my relations, that's my sisters,
yes,
they were a little bit supportive. The little they can, they do it. And but my in-laws, it was something else. It was something else. It's a no-go area. And I've been with the support of the few friends, the 3 friends I told you I had.
Yes.
They were like, they tried as much as possible to like, Stella, do this, Stella, don't do this, Stella, do this, Stella, don't do this. We know we've not been there, but we know you can do it. They kept on giving me some encouraging words to strengthen me the more. Stella, you can do it. We know you are strong. All this while that you are doing when your husband was alive is because he was there to support you. But now that he's gone, we know you have the strength. Just that single word. It's not that they are giving me money. That's my thing. They were not giving me money financially, but just those words, those encouraging words. Even when others like relegate me to the back, they say, no, Stella, you have to come out. No, Stella, you have to talk. Stella, you have to do it. You can do it. We know you have what it takes to do it. Those words, it took me like 7 years for me to like start working on those words they told me years back.
I'm glad.
Because I see it as that is the end of my world. Being for the fact that my better half was gone is the end of my world. There's nothing again for me. I don't even know how to start living a normal life. I don't even know how to start living the life of a widow. I don't even know anything. I don't even know like where is my left and where is my right. But because of those 3 friends that were like, Stella, we know you can do it. They are much older than me. They said, Stella, we know you can do it. They kept giving me those encouraging words that moved me. After 7 years to like, no, Stella, you have to stand up. And
this is a testimony, actually, and I'm really glad that you had those friends and that you found the strength in you as well to just keep going, to move on, and to be strong. Thank you very much again for that, Stella. Today on the big question, we're discussing surviving widowhood. Surviving widowhood. So if you have experiences and if you want to share those experiences, the number to call is 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. Okay, go ahead.
I'm glad you were able to navigate that process at that time and the kind of support system you had. But I'm wondering, because loss of a spouse is not what anybody should go through. I can imagine how traumatizing it is. So I'm just going to ask, how has parenting been for you ever since, and how were you able to maintain balance, knowing that the load of 2 people now belongs to one, or the burden? Child raising, doing this, no more support from the spouse that would really own and protect those children like my own.
It's not been an easy road for this past 13 years, and I read books, I learn from the older widows that have been in the journey for long. At times when they were still young, my last child was a year 6 months when my husband passed. And growing up, he was like, oh, mommy, where is daddy? Daddy. I don't have told him that your dad is late, but he was too young to understand. And I have just a boy and 2 girls. It took him time to okay, daddy has gone and he's not coming back. But I have just mommy, and mommy is the daddy and mommy is the mother.
Stella, please give me 1 second. We have a call coming in, please.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling The Big Question. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Pastor Wilson. I'm calling from Ogun State.
Pastor Wilson from Ogun State. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead very quickly.
It's a very good, interesting topic concerning the widow. Nobody's praying for every woman or any man or person in this world to lose his companion or to lose his wife. What we need to do concerning today for the widows, we need to give them more encouragement and more things to do so that to empower them, so that they will not be able to be thinking that maybe they have already lost someone or whatever. So they should try as much as possible and bring encouragement to their life, so that just like that's encouragement, just like they have somebody by their side. It's not everything is all about money. When we go into that, then secondly again we talk about food to provide for them. If I cannot be able to reach them, we should try and be able to do something and give it to them so that we'll be able to make them happy, so that they will not be able to feel bad that if those person is alive, so person is alive could have done it with them. But we should try as much as possible and encourage all these ones.
Thank you very much, Pastor Wilson. Thank you for calling. That was very thoughtful of Pastor Wilson, telling us that we should encourage widows and we should give them some provision. We should provide certain things for them, food and other resources to empower them and remind them that they're still needed, they're still loved, they're still cared for. So thank you again, Pastor Wilson. Over to you, Stella. So we're coming back to suggestions from you on what can be done better, but still tell us about how you manage to balance parenting with your children.
Okay. So like I said earlier, learning from the elderly widows and try to I can advise a young girl, but the boy, I don't know how to be a boy. I don't know how to be a father when it comes to that. That fatherly advice, okay, the boy is growing up. How do you pack let me use the P.
Yes.
How to pack it, because he's just surrounded by ladies. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to tell him about.
Okay, so while we're trying to reconnect with Stella, you can call in and share your experience as well. If you're a widow, today is dedicated to you. Every day seems to be just a breezy day. Everybody goes about their daily activities. But today we want to say that we recognize you, we see you, and we want to use this measure to just hear from you and know how you are doing despite being a widow. So
while we're trying to reconnect with Stella, I just want to put a word out there to the average person. Do we have her now? I just want to put a word there out to everybody. Just love on widows, and if you don't have anything to say at that time, it's best to keep quiet rather than saying the wrong things. Because I have a friend, when she lost her husband, she said someone actually said to her that you have offended God.
Yeah.
That there must be something that you are serving like this, and then are you sure you have not offended God? And these are things that even when they eventually recover, they would never forget you said so. So it's always about the way people may forget the actual thing you even said, but they will never forget how you made them feel at their time of pain. And same thing goes for the person that brought the healing. They will also never forget that person and the word of consolation that the person brought at that time. So let's just be encouraged, male, female, to always be that safe space for the other person.
Thank you very much for that, Adenike. Stella, I see that you resonate with that.
Yes, yeah, sure.
All right, so you were telling us about the fact that you had the company of older widows around you, giving you advice, and even with your confusion on how to be a mom to a boy.
Yes. So with that, I was able to but at times my son still say, I don't know, I am a father to myself. I don't know how to grow up as a man. I am a father to myself. Once in a while he will say that. And I feel so bad. But what I did was, I have a priest and some friends who I respect so much, they are male. So what I do, or my role models, guys, I will just ask them, please, I will want you to talk to my son. I want you to advise him, and that has been what has been helping me where my son is. For the girls, I'm comfortable with telling them anything, but for the boy, I had to go out of my way to get people that I know that I respect a lot, that everything about them, it's okay. I just send them my son to them for words of encouragement and how to be a man.
That's definitely something to learn,
and I'm sure you would never forget that.
Yes, I believe so too. So Stella, let me ask you about tradition. Did you suffer any negative traditional practices associated with widowhood in some parts of the country when you lost your husband? Did you suffer anything like that?
No, I didn't. I'm from Anambra State, Onitsha, and we don't really have those outdated or wicked inhumane treatments meted out to widows. We don't have such. As a matter of fact, even the chief, the head of the female in the family was like, you are still young. I cannot subject you to stay 1 year to mourn your husband. You are free to mourn your husband the way you want. Whatever it is, but it's just like tradition. If you like, you barb your hair. That was what she told me. If you like, you barb your hair. They barb, but you are too young to be subjected to all these things they do in the olden days.
That must have been such a good heart.
After 3 months, you are free to stop mourning him. Go out, get your life, train your children. You are all alone. That is what she told me. She said, you are all alone. No, forget relation, forget everything. Everybody, you are all alone. So I cannot subject you to that. You are still young.
I'm actually glad that didn't happen to you, because I actually know a number of people that it did happen to, and they really don't have good experiences at all.
Sure.
So I'm very glad that didn't happen to you. You were talking about your in-laws earlier, and you said, oh, I don't even want to go there. That's a whole different story. But did you receive any support from that end?
I didn't. As a matter of fact, they even wanted the little I have. And I was like, oh, really? I should give everything to you. And one of them even told me, see, that he's the only person I've got as an in-law, a younger brother to my husband, that I should come and list out everything my husband owns, because it's now their responsibility to now train the children. I was like, wow, are you for real? Somebody that even older than, so I should list out everything. I didn't find it funny.
What was your reaction?
Sorry?
What was your reaction?
My reaction, I just said, okay, no problem. I've paid.
So how would you rate the society on exclusivity and empathy for widows?
They don't have any single, I can't even say they have a single empathy when it comes to widows. There's these, they have, especially women, they have this negativity about widows. They believe that once you're a widow, you are cursed. As a matter of fact, I overheard the other speaker saying something about being empathic to widows.
Yes.
Somebody told me that because my husband died young, because we were not too prayerful. One. And two, it's very funny. You hear certain things, you hear funny things when it comes to widowhood. And, in the olden days, everybody is a crazy one. I don't want to say it on air. But let me see how I will go around it. He said, in the olden days, the normal sex, sorry to use the word, if I'm allowed to use it.
Yes, please, go ahead. Sure.
The normal sex position is the missionary style. And all of a sudden we started doing wild style. Why won't men die on time? I was like, what?
I guess you must have gotten an invitation.
How do people even think that way? How?
I don't know even, I can't really, I was trying to imagine
where that came from. What even? This is bewildering.
A woman, for that matter, a young lady that was not married. It's not that she was in her 40s, but she was not married. and because she's like, oh, she knows God more than me, because you guys are not prayerful, and all the things you people practice, all in the name of having fun on bed with your spouse, why won't you guys die on time? I was mad. And I said, oh my goodness. See, and this person I'm telling you is educated. She's not an illiterate.
This is saddening. This is very saddening to hear.
Yeah. She's a master holder. To tell you how crazy it is there. It's not, widowhood is not something you pray for your enemy to experience, because so for somebody that is not strong, they will destroy your mental health. They will destroy your mental health with their attitude, with their behavior. Church not left out. As I'm saying, I'm talking about churches too. In the church, it is not left out. Where you are supposed to find solace, they destroy your peace, they destroy your mental health if you are not careful.
I'm really sorry that you had to hear all of that. And I must commend your strength. I must commend your strength.
It made me stronger.
Absolutely. You talked earlier about things that the government should do. So I want you to shed more light on that. What do you think that the government can do as regards policies and just plans and structures for widows to create a better life for widows?
Okay. The first thing I would love the government to do, one is to find or to make it available free of charge for widows to go for psychoanalysis, or is it the
psychotherapy?
From what I heard, I've not been abroad, but from the little I heard, when you are passing through grief, they call in psychs, to talk to you.
Grief counseling.
Yes, to make you heal, to get that closure so that you can move forward. If it is possible, I know it is possible in Nigeria, it will cost nothing. Let them make it available. Even in churches, where widows can go, get that healing they need. Because a stable mental health will make you move forward very fast. That is one. Two, the other pastor, thank God for Pastor Wilson that spoke about making food available. Food, fine, food, widows need food, but it is not only food. You cannot teach it, you cannot give them food every day. Teach them how to fish. Teach them how to fish. Let me tell you something. A lot of widows know how to produce a lot of things, but the problem and the challenge they have is how do they market, how do they get it to the market, registration, how to do all these
processes
to have it registered, to push their market to the market, to push their produce to the market for it to earn them a lot. So they confine themselves to that little environment. That is why they don't make. So if government for widows, because we know you are struggling, why don't we remove such fees that you pay for registration, for NAFDAC fee, for all those fees available. Then when you for widows' children, I know some local governments and some churches, they pay the school fees for these children. If government, I know they would tell you, go to government school, it's free. It's free, but to just primary, secondary. What about the higher institution? That is where the expenses is much. What happens in the higher institution? Even the federal universities are not cheap either. So if there's a way the government can bring it out, then the most important thing is for all those states in the country that practice all those outdated rituals, all those stops. You will sleep on the floor. A widow told me that she was told some years back, that's about 5-6 years back, that when the husband's corpse is lying in state, that's a night before the burial.
Yes,
she will sleep. She will have sex with the husband's younger brother in the same room, somewhere in Agenebode.
What?
That's gross.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
I don't even have the words for that. What
Yes,
kind
they
of
follow.
inhumane practice is that?
Yes, they said it is ritual. It is part of the ritual of separating yourself from your spouse. You know, if there's a law guiding all this,
So what happens when the lady gets pregnant in the process?
I don't know for them. I don't know for them.
That's
She didn't do
chapter
it.
2 of the problem.
She told them to hell. She told them to hell. She's not doing anything while her husband's corpse is in the same room. I'm not saying in a
I can't
different.
believe this.
So if there's a way the government can like get a law, any lady or any widow that is being subjected to such, please go and report here. Let them not bring up, like, oh, it is custom, it is custom. There's nothing like custom there. All these things affect the mental health of a widow. It affects, and any widow that is not stable mentally, forget the children. There's no how they will be able to. So let government find a way of getting a law protecting widows and their children from their inheritance, from all these negative practices, all in the name of custom.
Thank you so much, Stella. This is definitely a new turn for a lot of people, because I can bet you a good amount of people they don't have this kind of knowledge, this depth of knowledge as regards everything you've just spoken about. And I want to take this medium to just encourage you to keep going, encourage other people out there, other widows out there who are experiencing this, or who are widows and who are having a hard time surviving widowhood. There's light at the end of the tunnel. It might take some time, it might be hard, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. And this is just to encourage you to stay strong for yourself, stay strong for your children, and like Nigerians would say, last, everything will do all right.
Sure. Last.
I just want to also encourage every adult, as soon as you begin to raise a family or start acquiring things, it's best to have a will.
Sure.
Because that's another way to protect your family in your absence. And when the husband does not have a will, even the wife or anybody at all, there's a limit to what the government can do. But once there's a will, at least lawyers can. There's a lot that can be done from the legal angle, so nobody just strolls in to take away the right of the children.
Absolutely.
And when you make that will, even if the children are little, you can will it to them and make their mother the custodian. It's only a crazy woman that would watch her children suffer.
Yes.
So it's just my word out today for families, individuals, and
Just the society in general.
the society.
Well, thank you very much, Adenike, for joining us today on The Big Question. And also to you, Stella.
Thank you,
Thank you
Somto.
very much for being a part of The Big Question. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
From Stella's story, you can tell that the experiences of widowhood are enormous. There's a lot of loss, there's a lot of grief, there's a lot of trauma, and the vacuum can be felt in every single aspect of their lives, coupled with all the struggles and responsibilities of single motherhood. So kudos to every woman out there, every widow out there taking responsibility for their little ones. Your hard work is acknowledged, for which you're considered as a wonder woman. The world remembers you, and they know that you do exist. Traditions and norms might try to pull you down, but the sky is just your starting point, because you are doing amazing. This is just to encourage you and to let you know that we see you, and we want to make sure that you are encouraged today and even every other day after. Thank you very much again, Esther. Thank you very much again, Stella, for joining us today. And thank you to you, Adenike, as well. Thank you to my producer, Esther, and William Joshua for the support, and just continue to put the word out there to create awareness and to speak about the problem, but most importantly, prefer solution. Please remember to be a patriotic Nigerian and keep the conversation going. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. Good afternoon.
WFM 91.7.